Russian forces rely heavily on airstrikes Thursday in their slow-moving campaign to win control of eastern Ukraine, and used a new, smaller strike group to push to take the besieged town of Avdiivka. Russia has focused its attention on the eastern regions of Donetsk and Luhansk since failing to reach Kiev in the early days of its invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Since mid-October, the group has begun targeting Avdiivka, the gateway to the Russian-controlled Donetsk regional center 12 miles to the east. The new push to take over the city comes at a time when Ukraine's summer counteroffensive is known to have reached its peak and taken together. These two facts represent a decisive shift in the battlefield initiative towards Russia. Russian losses increased sharply both in terms of personnel and equipment in the southern operating area. Fighters of the 72nd Separate Mechanized Brigade, named after Black Zaporozhets, and the 74th Separate Reconnaissance Battalion of the Armed Forces of Ukraine destroyed the heavy flamethrower system Sunflower of the Russian invaders at the firing position. The Public Relations Service of the 72nd Brigade and the Joint Press Center of the Defense Forces of the Tavria Direction announced this on their pages on the social network Facebook, publishing the same video. The clip was edited from footage taken with a barrage of munitions and a controlled unmanned aerial vehicle. Tanks rarely fought tanks in the 22-month war between Russia and Ukraine, but rare doesn't mean never. As the Ukrainian drone observed from above, 2 Ukrainian T-64 tanks and a Russian T-72B3 moved towards each other, apparently somewhere north of Avdiivka recently. Breaking through the trees, the 2 Soviet-designed tanks exchanged several rounds from roughly the same 125mm main guns, each firing and missing until the Russian tank smoked and withdrew. A Ukrainian drone filled with explosives chased the T-72 as it retreated, attacking it and apparently damaging its turret. These inconclusive tank battles are noteworthy for their rarity. In Ukraine, tanks typically led infantry attacks against enemy trenches or, even more frequently, fired their guns at enemy positions from kilometers away. Fighters of the company of the Unmanned Attack Aircraft Complex of the Special Purpose Brigade Azov of the National Guard of Ukraine destroyed 12 trucks and an armored car Akhmat belonging to the Russian invaders. The brigade's press service reported this on its Telegram channel, publishing a related video, edited from footage taken by kamikaze drones, which destroyed enemy equipment in the streets directly behind the interventionists. It is known from previous news that Azov fought in the Limansky direction. Deprivation of transport and disruption of cargo deliveries created serious problems for the invaders with logistics and securing leading positions. Since Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, Ukrainian forces have reclaimed most of the occupied territory in a lightning offensive through the northeast a year ago. But they made little progress in the counteroffensive launched in the east and south in June. Ukraine hailed Western military support in helping its forces liberate half of its territory occupied by Russia, as the latest map from the Institute for War Studies shows Ukraine's progress since the start of Vladimir Putin's invasion in 2022. Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov told Fox News that Ukraine had taken away 50% of our territory and defeated Russia on our territory. He also defended the effectiveness of his country's slow-moving counterattack and raised concerns in Western countries, saying critics should visit the battle zone to see for themselves. In November, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said his forces had planned several future paths of advance in 2024 to liberate more occupied territories. Meanwhile, fighters of the 24th Separate Mechanized Brigade of the ZSU, named after King Danilo, destroyed a Russian truck with an 82mm 2K21 automatic mortar. This was reported by the Telegram channel ROG, by publishing a related video, edited from footage taken by kamikaze drones and controlled unmanned aerial vehicles. Prominent Ukrainian military journalist Yuri Butusov commented in an interview with NV Radio that in the Avdiivka region, although the front line had been largely stable for months before the attack, there was little or no ready Ukrainian defense line behind the first positions that were quickly attacked and overrun by Russian troops. Given the intensity of Russian artillery fire and the drone activity supporting the attack, this left Ukrainian troops sent on defense without good cover options, and of course increased the number of casualties, as several soldiers fighting there told the Kyiv Independent. Meanwhile, US and Ukrainian officials signed an agreement to speed up joint weapons production and data sharing. No information was provided regarding what types of weapons are covered by the agreement. Greater domestic arms production would reduce Ukraine's dependence on Western partners. The United States has sent more than $44 billion in military aid to Ukraine since February 2022, including more than $25 billion in US presidential withdrawal aid. Bimonthly withdrawals averaged more than $600 million during the first 19 months of the war, but have declined significantly in the last 2 months as official spending has nearly dried up. The United States on December 6 announced a final bimonthly withdrawal for Ukraine of $175 million.